Hey everyone, Noodle here, and this is my most immersive and involved reconstruction of a pre-existing structure yet. This house is now twice the size it was when I found it, and looking at it, you can't easily tell which parts are added and which are inherited. And it comes with a roommate. She says the coolest things.
I wish my Brahmin had 4 sets of udders instead of 2 heads.
Catchphrase.
In this video, I will show you how I doubled the real estate of this ruin and turned it into a functional camp that looks like it's always been here. We'll go from this sad tilting thing to this glorious, still messed up, but glorious building accomplishment. And it all started with me wanting to do a 5-minute demo of this building kit, which is one of the rewards on the Season 18 scoreboard. These walls made the entire build possible. Buckle up and let's get immersive. First of all, let me show you where I am on the map. If you go all the way to the right and locate Haven Church, and then locate the deer icon right about in the middle, kind of in this area here, you will come across the ruin. It doesn't look like we get much to work with, but look, it also comes with this entire garden full of food, a settler that will help protect the place, and it comes with a secret treasure. It comes with a bunker. There's an actual bunker here. Now in this video, I'm not going to decorate the bunker because honestly, it's kind of decorated already. But I'm thinking of doing like an entire bedroom in here, but not today. Today, we're going to work with the house. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place my camp module in the most friendly location so that I get all of this. When placing your camp module, make sure to grab the main house, the bunker, and the backyard. Always pop out in free cam mode to make sure that you got the right amount of real estate. And yes, we do. Yes, we do. That house doesn't look like much, does it? Not at all like what you saw in the preview of a finished piece. Don't worry, we'll reconstruct this thing together. Starting with the first add-on that I created, this is my cooking area. And I ended up keeping the Cauldron here. I hope you guys have all seen my review of the Cauldron by now. I ended up keeping it. It actually looks really cool here. I still think it's too big and impractical, but it makes for an interesting and unusual decoration. The first thing that we need for this add-on is some floor tiles. Most buildings in Fallout 76 are actually 3 floor tiles long, so that's always very friendly for adding any kind of a porch or an extra room. And here's what started it all, the corroded concrete walls. The walls themselves actually come in many variations. We have walls with big holes, with small holes, with randomly scattered holes. We have 2 walkways, like an actual doorway and a big archway. And we have a window wall segment. So there's much to choose from for a dilapidated look. As far as the half walls, unfortunately, there aren't that many options. In fact, there are only 2. So if you are building up a story and a half, it's going to get a little repetitive. This building, it's organic and tilting and has much decay and destruction. So adding these very clean-cut walls that are all copy-paste to it isn't so immersive yet. So the key to working with this set is actually integrating it with other building sets and other roof tiles. For my roof tiles, I ended up using one that has grass on it because that goes well with my grassed over bunker over on the side. And the grass is the same grass as we have around here on the ground as well. And then the second roof tile I ended up using from the kit so that it has a big hole in it. And later that turned out really well because that's where I hung my cauldron so that the cauldron actually, like the steam from the cauldron escapes from that hole in the ceiling. And one more note on the cauldron, if you hang it high enough, you can put fire under it, and our campfire actually looks really nice. However, the problem remains the same. If it hangs high enough to have a fire under it, it's too high to be realistically usable. Like, I can't reach this thing to stir it. So once again, it's just a decoration. For my second add-on, I extended the house on the other side, and that's going to be my practical area. That's usually the part of the camp that I put in the back and hide with all my workbenches and unsightly things. But this entire camp was meant to be unsightly, so here it's actually okay. I considered stashing all that stuff in the bunker, but now I'm thinking of making like an actual pimped out cozy bedroom in there. So again, always start with the base, extend the base, try to match the height of the base of the original build, and then go crazy with selecting your walls. As you can see, I will go through many versions of this assembly, and overall this build took several days. And I recorded about 2 hours of the most important structural stuff. That full recording is up for all channel members. By the way, thank you so much, everyone who's been joining. Oscapt and I are thrilled to see so many new names in your ranks every day. As long as you stick around, we're happy to share our private gameplay with you whenever we can. Don't hold us to daily stuff. For me, it's these very involved builds, and for Oscapt, it's usually running dailies on the days that he can, and sharing his junk finding wisdoms, among other things. One fun use that I found for the half walls is using the catwalk glitch to actually cover up these floor tiles. Remember how to do that? I teach this method in my Fort Fortress build in the video on how to build with offsets. So even though these are all copy-paste repetitive and there are only 2 versions of them, I think for the foundation, that's okay. No one's going to look that closely. And again, we have much variation with the roof tiles. In the end, after multiple hours of trial and error, I came up with something like this for my secondary structure. Now for my favorite part of this house, the kitchen. I am so proud of this kitchen. Out of all the things that I've done here, even reconstructing the second floor, for some reason, the kitchen is my favorite. It just turned out to be so cute. And again, most of this didn't really exist. I was so thrilled to be able to insert a single floor tile here that basically covers the entire little kitchenette area. And also being able to add this beautiful, beautiful destroyed and broken facade to the front window, again using the catwalk tile glitch to continue my concrete foundation look. One of the biggest problems with this house is that it's tilting. It's tilting by a lot, so you can't actually tile the entire floor. But with the single floor tile in the kitchen, it looks like the furniture is tilting, and obviously there are holes in the walls and everything, but it clearly separates the kitchen area from the rest of the house, and that pillar also helps. Another problem with pre-existing structures is that you often can't place objects on counters, especially kitchen counters. They're just not friendly. So here's a really cool way to go about it and trick the game into placing whatever you want on a pre-existing counter. Take a floor mat, take it over to some safe area, place whatever it is that you want to place on your kitchen counter. For me, it's the Slocum's Joe coffee machine and the company tea machine. And then grab your floor mat and bring it over to the counter. And in my case, as soon as I placed it, the floor mat sank into the counter and became completely invisible. If it stays, it's okay, because then it looks like a tray. I actually have a tray like this in real life under my coffee maker. But in this case, it turned out even better. It sunk into the counter. Unfortunately, because the counter is tilting, the machines do look like they're hovering a little bit, but I figured it's really hard to see, so it's one of those instances where I kept it. A huge part of this build for me was using wall decor and defenses to make everything work together with repeating elements. Let me show you some of my favorite ones to use. Oh, and as far as lights go, I used a lot of paper lanterns that don't require electricity. I used a lot of oil lamps that don't require electricity, but I actually have that big windmill generator hooked up to the house, so I also have electrical lights in here. For my repeating elements that helped make this look a little bit more immersive, I relied pretty heavily on these wooden wall decorations. These are designed to cover up windows, but they work as wall decorations on any wall. So I made sure to apply them to both the new structures and the pre-existing structure to bring everything together. Additionally, I've attached them to the outside of the house as well as to the inside of the house just to spice things up a little bit. And I use these Fastnacht plants to go with my whole grass roof because they kind of just look natural, and unfortunately, I don't have wall vines. Those would be ideal. But adding these little plant decorations kind of makes it look like the structure is starting to get overgrown. I also like adding these planks with a little bit of an offset and also sandwiching them between my walls. The other elements that I used a lot for the reconstruction part of this house are these defenses. You've seen me use these defenses a lot in my builds. If you don't have these yet, keep an eye out in the Atomic Shop. Make sure to tune in on Tuesdays. OzCapt and I now live stream Atomic Shop updates on Tuesdays, so as soon as these come out, I will point them out. And now for the bedroom. The bedroom is entirely reconstructed. This entire cubicle that I'm sleeping in right now did not exist. That entire balcony outside of the cubicle did not exist. All of this is built with floors, ceilings, defenses, and believe it or not, those stupid ramps that I really hate. And at this point, notice that I'm not even using the original destroyed concrete building set. This house isn't built entirely out of those walls and roof tiles. In fact, I think that the best way to use the corroded concrete tiles is to use them sparsely. I do not think that you can build an entire house of it and have it look natural. It's going to look too copy-paste. It's going to turn into a piece of cheese. They were a great start for me. They allowed me to actually kick this thing off and give it a general structure to work with, but the rest of it doesn't actually involve them at all. Out here in the attic, I have a little tea party going on with the teddy bears. I inherited this part. The only things that I added here are some light practicals. So I have some candles and a lantern. The rest of it just came with the house. In case you forgot what this thing looked like before, let's take this camp away and see what we had to work with to begin with. Oof. I also have a clear weather station set up there for filming, so as soon as I took the camp away, it's dark and gloomy and raining in here. This house was tiny, but not only that, half of it is missing. This is the kitchen, this is where my cauldron hangs, none of that is here. Like half of that house is blown up entirely. And of course, nothing on this side. By itself, this house is basically unusable. Let's bring the new build back again and just do a quick run through to see how much things changed. I am barely into my budget at all. I did minimal decoration here. I added some defenses. I'm really happy to have this garden. I have like an endless supply of food now. And I was able to create several different purpose living spaces in here. So there you have it, boys and girls, my most immersive and most involved reconstruction of a pre-existing structure yet. And I didn't even do anything with the bunker yet. Once I do, I will make a separate video about it on how to build in pre-existing bunkers. I hope you got a ton of inspiration, building and decorating tips, and will try your own hand at this exact location as well. When you do, make sure to share your creation over at Vault 42, our Discord server. We love seeing your camps. Thank you so much for watching. If you remember, you already have a full recording of this build if you want to follow along with me and actually produce the same exact thing. If you're not a member yet, there's no better time to join than today. I'm Noodle Pants, one half of Gamer Aviator. And until next time, stay safe out there, Vault Dwellers.
Where the shadows creep and sway, lies a land of rusted dreams, where the brave dare not stray. Appalachia, oh, it's a treacherous ride, with dangers untold and nowhere to hide.